Hello again. It's Monday, April 26th, and welcome to the reading of the Mansfield News Journal. My name is Pam, and we will begin today's reading with the area deaths. Norma Jean or Jeannie, as many knew her, journeyed home to be with the Lord March 31st. Graveside services will be held June 21st at Fairview Cemetery, Galion. Mary Jeannie Jefferson, 76, passed away on April 19th at Ohio Health, Mansfield. Services have already been held. Rebecca L. Becky Bomberger of Mansfield, Ohio, formerly of Warsaw, was called home by her Lord and Savior on April 19th. Services have been held. Larry Owen Sapp Sr., 79, of Perrysville, passed away on April 22nd. Funeral services will be held Tuesday, April 27th at 4 p.m. at Ohio Cremation and Memorial Society. Family and friends may call from 3 to 4 p.m. On Thursday, April 22nd, Ronald W. Sauter passed away at Ohio Health Mansfield Hospital. He was 60 years old. A memorial gathering celebrating Ron's life will be held Tuesday, April 27th from 2 to 6 p.m. in the Lexington Avenue Snyder Funeral Home. A reception will immediately follow at Ron's house, where friends and family are invited to visit and continue in celebrating his life. Forrest E. Smith, age 91, of Powell, Ohio, died April 23rd after a short illness at Riverside Methodist Hospital in Columbus. Friends may call at the Barkdahl Funeral Home and Crematory in Shelby, Thursday, April 29th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Graveside services will be held following at 1:30 p.m. in Oakland Cemetery in Shelby. Lee Ann Riggenbach, age 84, passed away late Thursday evening, April 23rd, at Oak Grove Manor, and is now with her Lord. A gathering of family and friends will be held from 10 to 11 a.m. Saturday, May 1st, at Ridgeway First Church of God, Mansfield. A memorial service will be held thereafter, beginning at 11 a.m. And that concludes the area deaths available for today. So let's begin with our first article. Richland County's case rate drops, by Monroe Trombley. The rate of people in Richland County contracting COVID-19 has declined for the first time in 3 weeks. The number of new cases per 100,000 residents in the past 2 weeks on Thursday has dropped from 219 to 181, according to the state's Public Health Advisory System, or the COVID-19 heat map. The incident rate for each county is shared each Thursday on the Ohio Department of Health's online dashboard. Richland County reported 219 cases in the last 2 weeks and has the 28th highest number of cases per capita among Ohio's 88 counties, an improvement from last week when it had the 19th highest. This week, Richland County triggered 4 of the Public Health Advisory System's 7 indicators, 1 less than last week. The indicators are used to determine which level denotes by color counties will be. Richland County remains red for COVID-19 cases. Richland has been red, the system's second highest level, for 18 consecutive weeks, largely due to its high incident rate. The overall incident rate in Ohio is 185.8 cases per 100,000 residents, down from 200 on April 15th. The figure had been increasing since the end of March. Governor Mike DeWine has promised to lift all health orders when the case rate drops to 50 per 100,000 residents. Hospitalization rates drop. Virus-related hospitalizations in Richland County's hospital region also declined for the first time in 3 weeks. On Thursday, there were 216 COVID-19 patients across 13 northeastern Ohio counties, including Richland County, according to the Ohio Hospital Association, and that's down from 238 on April 15th. Richland County, as of Thursday, had recorded 11,110, 93 since April 15th. Hospitalizations and 198 deaths since the beginning of the pandemic, according to the Ohio Department of Health. State of COVID-19 vaccinations in Richland County. By Thursday, 35,471 people, About 29.3% of the county's population had received at least one shot of a COVID-19 vaccine, according to the state's online coronavirus dashboard, while 28,340 are fully vaccinated. To compare, 34,280 people, or about 28.3% of the county's population, had received at least one dose of a vaccine by April 15th, while 25,618 were counted as fully vaccinated. Up next, 198 years at stake for a man accused of sex crimes, by Zach Tugel and Jerry Goebel. A man accused of sex crimes that could land him behind bars for nearly 200 years goes on trial Monday morning in the Crawford County Court of Common Pleas. Joshua Benedict, now 42, of Bucyrus, was indicted by a grand jury in January of 2019 on 130 counts relating to rape and child pornography, the Telegraph Forum had previously reported. Seth Leuthold, Common Pleas judge for Crawford County, has recused himself from hearing the case, according to Crawford County prosecutor Matt Krall. Visiting Judge Howard Hall is sitting by assignment by the Supreme Court, Krall said Thursday afternoon. He is the retired Morrow County Common Pleas judge. The trial has been scheduled to begin 8:30 a.m. Monday with a jury selection. Benedict faces 2 first-degree felony counts of rape, 2 second-degree felony counts of pandering obscenity involving a minor, a third-degree felony count of gross sexual imposition, and 125 fourth-degree felony counts of pandering sexually oriented material involving a minor. If convicted, Benedict could be sentenced up to 2 years in prison and 2 life sentences. It involves a case that was originally reported as an allegation of rape, Krall said in 2019. Investigators originally found no evidence of rape, but did find a computer hard drive containing child pornography. Eventually, investigators found a photo supporting the claim made by the girl who said she had been raped, the prosecution has said. The girl was 10 when the incident happened in the Galion area. There were quite a few items we found, and under Ohio law, each photo is a separate count, Krall has explained. The county considered filing as many as 350 counts. Charges related to possession of child pornography are fourth-degree felonies. If the person is suspected of taking the photos, it's a second-degree felony. Our next article, titled "Dixon Trial Continues Until Tuesday," by Mark Cottle. The Stephen Dixon trial has taken another turn. After jurors waited almost an hour Friday morning, they were called to the courtroom, where Common Pleas Judge Phil Namath said the case was being continued until Tuesday. Some evidence has just been presented to the defense and is somewhat lengthy, the judge said. Namath said defense attorney Sean Boone and James Mayer III would need time to review the evidence. In order to ensure a fair trial, the court needs to give a continuance, Namath said. The court is very sorry for the inconvenience, but you have to understand that this is an unusual matter. Both sides are entitled to a fair trial. In order to ensure we are doing things properly, we are going to continue the matter for a few days. The trial will resume at 9 a.m. Tuesday. Dixon, 30, of Mansfield, is charged with 4 counts of attempted murder and 5 counts of felonious assault, all with gun specifications, inducing panic, improperly handling firearms in a motor vehicle, and tampering with evidence. He is accused of firing 8 to 10 shots into a carload of 4 people on August 7th outside Mountain Drive through 481 Spring Mill Street. On Thursday, the start of the court day was held up for 2 hours after one of the state's witnesses decided not to testify. Calvin Eaton was identified as a person who returned fire when Dixon was seen on surveillance video firing shots toward the blue Chevrolet that had pulled into the parking lot. Namath told jurors that Eaton was apprised of his rights and decided not to testify on the grounds he might incriminate himself. The only witness the jury has heard from in the last 2 days is Jarek Davis, who is Eaton's brother. He was in the car the day of the incident. along with their mother and sister. Our next article, Deputy Wendling terminated from RCSO, by Lou Whitmire. A Richland County Sheriff's deputy has been terminated from the department following an off-duty incident with a Mansfield police officer who is his girlfriend. Major Joe Massey confirmed Deputy Eric Wendling was terminated on Friday. Both the Mansfield police officer and Wendling were charged with assault following an off-duty incident at 1:13 a.m. February 28th at a residence in the city. Mansfield Police Chief Keith Porch earlier reported in a news release. The charge, a first-degree misdemeanor, stems from a disturbance and physical confrontation that occurred between Mansfield police officer Brittany Pennywit and Wendling, according to Porch. Pennywit, who was sworn in on May 20, 2019, has been on paid administrative leave since the altercation and the pending investigative follow-up by the Mansfield Division of Police. She was formally charged following a review of the case by the Mansfield Law Director's Office. She remains on paid administrative leave pending an internal affairs review, as well as the outcome of the pending criminal charge. Wendling was sworn in as a deputy in 2016. He was placed under arrest, then transported to the Shelby Police Department jail, where he was charged and incarcerated to await a court appearance or posting of bond, according to the police report. A bench trial is scheduled for Wendling at 1 p.m. May 18th in Mansfield Municipal Judge Jerry Alt's courtroom. Pennywit is scheduled for a jury trial at 9 a.m. May 26th before Mansfield Municipal Judge Frank Artis. And up next, Metric seizes guns and drugs worth $71,600. Suspect leaps from the second-floor window in an effort to avoid arrest. The Metric Enforcement Unit says it seized $71,600 worth of drugs Thursday during a search of 418.5 Sherman Place. The occupant of the residence, Desanjay N. Taylor, 27, leapt from a second-story window, attempting to flee, Metric said in a news release Thursday evening. During the search, detectives seized 601 grams of suspected methamphetamine, 18.5 grams of suspected tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC wax, 36 grams of suspected cocaine, 140 grams of suspected crack cocaine, and 20 grams of suspected marijuana, according to the release. Detectives also seized a loaded Glock 9mm handgun, a loaded .32 caliber revolver, and a large amount of drug paraphernalia, Metric said. In the release, Metric Commander Lieutenant Jason Bauman said this was a direct result of excellent work from Metric detectives and tips received from the community. To report suspected drug activity, you can call the Metric Crime Tip Hotline at 419-52-CRIME. That's 419-522-7463. Or the Task Force line at 419-755-9728. Mansfield looking for a teen 16 missing for 2 weeks, by Lou Whitmire. A 16-year-old Mansfield boy left home April 6th without permission and has failed to return home. Gage Swope of Dale Avenue was reported missing by his mother, who said she has attempted to contact him several times with no response, according to a Mansfield police report. She said Gage did not appear for his meeting with his probation officer. On the morning of April 6th, Swope's information was entered into the computer database and a missing juvenile flyer was completed, according to the police report. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact Mansfield Police at 419-755-9725. Madison trustee approves the 2021 paving list, by Al Lawrence. The Madison Township will be putting asphalt on 10 streets as part of the 2021 summer paving program. The Township trustees approved the list as a special search asset meeting Wednesday after discussing cost figures for each road. The paving list includes all of Martha Ball, Yale and Evergreen West Avenues, Earhart and Mayor Drives, Vernon and Burgraff Roads, Lee Lane, and the section of Bonnie Drive from Ridge Road to Ohio 39. Total cost of the work is estimated at $150,000 based on current higher asphalt prices. Trustees Chairman Jim Hauser said the list was put together by Road Superintendent Jim Baker with input from Trustee Kathy Swank. He said Trustee Dan Fletcher did not want to contribute. Hauser said County Engineer Adam Gove helped put together the cost figures for each road. The total cost estimate for 1 inch of asphalt on each road ranged from, you ready, $125,000 on the low end based on 2020 asphalt costs to $135,000 on the high end, with $5,000 allocated for traffic control. Trustees have estimated the township will receive around $260,000 from the road paving levy. Earlier in the month, they awarded a $105,873 contract to Allied Construction LLC of Chillicothe for chip and seal treatment on portions of 13 roads. The fiscal officer indicated to me that we had $160,000 we could still utilize to complete these projects. And with the estimates I have here and the high end on the asphalt, it comes to $150,000. That will give us $10,000 wiggle room in the long run, Hauser said. Swank said she would put together the bid documents with the county engineer's help. Township resident Tom McGinty asked if the road department was going to do a better job of preparing the roads for new asphalt and if the trustees were going to monitor the paving work to avoid problems with extra charges like they did in 2020. Jimmy Baker and I double-checked the roads this time to make sure we had all the manholes and catch basins listed, Hauser responded. That's where I think they messed up last time, and that's where they added because they did it and we didn't have it on our quote. Trustees also held a 20-minute executive session to discuss fire department employee compensation. Afterwards, they granted the department's administrative assistant a 3% pay raise, effective with the beginning of the next pay period. And now, County looking at new public notification system by Al Lawrence. The Richland County Commissioners are looking into contracting with a Massachusetts firm for a communication service that would allow any agency in the county to distribute emergency and informational messages through cell phone text, traditional landlines, and a variety of social media platforms. Matt Hill from the county auditor's IT department told the board at its meeting Thursday that the service provided by Rave Mobile Safety could distribute messages ranging from snow and other emergencies, missing persons, and wanted individuals to reminders about dog license, taxes, due dates, and public events. We have been asked by Captain Sweet of the Sheriff's Department to try to find a better way to get information out to the public regarding snow emergencies and things like that from the Sheriff's Department, Hill said. We spent several days researching companies on how to do things and even talked to our website provider and couldn't find anything that they could do to help us. So we got in contact with Rave Mobile Safety, a company that does a lot of stuff with 911 and public safety. Hill said Rave mobile product called Rave Alert allows an agency to type in a message and submit it to all platforms with just 3 clicks. Messages out to all social media with a couple of clicks. Basically, what it does is we check boxes for things like Facebook and Twitter, type in a message and hit finish, and it sends out the text messages. The phone calls, the emails, updates to our Facebook page without us ever even having to log into Facebook or Twitter, Hill said. It will even post the information live on our website, so it hits everything at one time. The public would sign up to receive messages at no cost. Hill said Rave Alert could also replace the courtroom security system with an app that can issue alerts for incidences such as an active shooter or a courtroom disturbance and receive messages back from employees who have sought cover. Commissioner Cliff Mears, who previously served on Mansfield City Council, asked if Rave Alert would overlap a city service that provides notice for severe weather, water line breaks, boil advisories, road closures, missing persons, and evacuations of buildings and neighborhoods. My viewpoint always has been Mansfield is in Richland County. Richland County covers more. Richland County has more citizens, and if we can affect in a positive way the citizens of the whole county to include the city of Mansfield, that is a better situation than if the city of Mansfield is the only one that can do that, Auditor Pat Dropsy replied. The cost of the service is quoted at $35,000 per year. Commissioners want more information about possible cost per building and how other entities could share in the cost before making a final decision. We need to do this. We just need to figure out how, said Commissioner Tony Vero. This is a modern technology, so let's use it to our advantage. Contract okayed for internet services with Spectrum. On a special IT issue, commissioners approved a contract with Spectrum for internet services to the Richland County Park Board office at the Gorman Nature Center and to Richland County Regional Planning Office downtown at a total cost of $34,400. The figure covers the cost of running a buried line from a utility pole to the Nature Center and boring a line between the courthouse and regional planning. The change is part of a conversion from CenturyLink to Spectrum Internet service. Commissioners also issued a proclamation declaring April 25th to May 2nd as Soil and Water Stewardship Week. The proclamation notes county residents depend on fertile soil and clean water to provide daily sustenance and help provide a rich standard of living. Activities for the week will be posted on the Richland County Soil and Water Conservation District website. And now, commissioners try to bolster development by Al Lawrence. Economic development in Richland County took a couple steps forward Tuesday when commissioners approved revised and new enterprise zone agreement for a Belleville area company and voted to seek proposals for a newly created county development department. The enterprise zone agreement provided a 50% abatement for 15 years for an expansion project for Major Metals on Cockheiser Road at the Ohio 97 ramp at Interstate 71 just outside Belleville. Barrett Thomas, Director of Economic Development for the Richland Area Chamber and Economic Development, said the project includes the construction of 48,000 square feet of additional manufacturing space and will create 16 jobs over 3 years and 800,000 annually in new payroll. It's a growing operation. They're getting rid of some old equipment and buying some new equipment. That's going into the new space, Thomas says. It will make them more efficient, so they use fewer people, but they're still going to hire more people. Major Metals is a metal stamping and welding operation that makes component pieces for other companies. Most of the work involves steel tubing and steel coil. Enterprise Zone Agreements from 2015 is amended. Commissioners also approved an amendment to a similar Enterprise Zone Agreement that was passed in 2015 for a 48,000 square foot expansion for Major Metals. The amendment allows the title holder to the land where Major Metal buildings are located to also receive the benefit of the abatement. There was a clerical error where they left off the name of the entity that owns the real estate, so they've been paying the full tax rate, Thomas explained. We thought we could go back and fix that by amending the agreement and putting the entity's name on so they could realize the tax abatement benefit going forward. I don't think they're interested in going back and trying to reclaim the tax they've already paid. The amended agreement will run through 2032. The tax abatement for the new addition will run through 2036. Looking for an economic development office leader in other business, commissioners voted to advertise for proposals for economic development services from an individual or an organization to operate an economic development office for the county. Central Services Coordinator Rachel Troyer said the county is seeking a 1-year contract with up to 5 one-year renewals. The contract automatically renews unless the commissioners or the vendor cancels. Commissioners voted in January to allocate $100,000 to Richland Area Chamber and Economic Development from a $293,661 Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation premium refund to cover the cost of a new economic development position. The Chamber asked the county for funding because a grant from the Richland County Foundation that has paid for local economic development efforts runs out at the end of the year. Shortly after, commissioners created an economic development department after the county prosecutor's office determined the county cannot make a straight donation to the chamber and must create an economic development position, which then would enable the county to contract with an individual or nonprofit organization. To my knowledge, the Richland County Commissioners have never had an economic development office that we created, Commissioner Tony Vero said Tuesday. Obviously, the next step in the progression is, once you've created the office, getting a body or an entity to perform the services of an economic development office. County looking for permanent revenue source. Although commissioners committed to spending $100,000 this year on economic development, they said they want to find a permanent revenue source for the future. One source mentioned was a new internet sales tax. However, commissioners said the state would need to provide a breakdown of the county's share before a decision could be made. The Richland County Development Group, which is part of the chamber, is the main conduit for development leads from the State of Jobs Ohio and Team NEO. Chamber President Jody Perry said in January a full-time economic development position would work with the leads, do local retention and expansion, and improve the communications game. The request for economic development proposals will be on richlandcountyohio.gov. Proposals will be opened Monday, May 11th. Commissioners also voted Tuesday to participate in the state purchasing contract for road salt this winter and to formally accept a Target of Opportunity CARES Act grant that will pay for an addition to Dayspring, Richland County's assisted living facility. The addition will be built next to the existing nursing station and will have 2 rooms, including one to quarantine, isolate, and treat sick residents and limit exposure to health professionals and other residents. RCSO Chief Deputy Joe Massey retiring by Lou Whitmire. Richland County Sheriff Deputy Joe Massey is retiring effective June 2nd. I want to let everyone know that I have made the decision to retire. My last day of employment with the Richland County Sheriff's Office is June 2nd, 2021, he said in a news release. I want to thank you for the opportunity to work as your jail administrator from 2011 to 2013. Then Chief Deputy from 2013 to the present, Massey said. I've enjoyed working with an excellent team of correctional law enforcement support staff and administrative personnel. This team has realized several essential accomplishments and achieved many key goals. I am leaving a team that shares an exceptional amount of knowledge, experience, and enthusiasm. The team will continue to do great things for the Richland County Sheriff's Office, Massey said. Massey said he has enjoyed over 40 years in law enforcement and feels that this is the best time to retire. The Sheriff's Office will continue to be a great place to work, he said. I honestly love this place, and it will always be in my heart. I will always pray for law enforcement officers, correctional officers, and all those who work at the Richland County Sheriff's Office. I am proud to have worked with all of you, Massey said. Sheriff J. Steve Sheldon said it's heart-wrenching to see Massey retire. Joe and I worked together at the Sheriff's Office. He came in 1979, and I came in 1980, until I went to the Mansfield Police Department in 1983, Sheldon said. He is top-notch, knowledgeable, level-headed. He's a great guy, and I hate to lose him. It's a huge loss to the Sheriff's Office, Sheldon added. Massey, 59, started his career in law enforcement with the Sheriff's Office in 1980. He eventually rose to the rank of captain before leaving in 1989 to be an investigator with the county prosecutor's office. From there, Massey went to Mansfield Correctional Institute as investigator in 1997. He spent almost 13 years at Mansfield, retiring in 2009. I love law enforcement to begin with, he said. It almost felt like I was coming home, he said in 2011 News Journal article. Well, that concludes the reading of the Mansfield News Journal for Monday, April 26th. My name is Pam. Thank you for having me in your home. Please stay safe until we are together again, and be abundantly blessed today.